everybody, Cinemastic this year with another weekly watch video where we take a look at all the titles that I've recently been watching and I give you my brief thoughts on them. So let's just get right down to it and take a look at everything that I've recently checked out. And the first title I watched, this is one I was very pleasantly surprised about, and that was Epic. I've recently watched a few CGI animated films over the last few weeks, things like Turbo and Escape from Planet Earth and a bunch of other titles, and they've been decent. I've enjoyed them. They're good. I pretty much given decent reviews to them. Crude, I thought was nice. Just movies like that I said looked beautiful, were fun movies, and I recommended them. But I'd say out of all the CGI animated films that I have recently watched, this one had to be the best. It was a lot of fun, all about these little creatures who inhabit the forest, and they're some of them live in the forest as just residents. Some of them are there to protect the forest. There's these creatures who are evil and want to destroy the forest with rot. A lot of fun. There's this girl who's the daughter of this scientist who's trying to find these little creatures and has basically spent his whole life trying to find these creatures. She ends up getting shrunk down and brought into this world and having to help fight this epic battle. Lots and lots of fun. The CGI looked beautiful. I saw this one in 3D. Looked fantastic. Loved this film. And like I said, out of all the CGI anime films that I've recently watched, this one here had to be the best. It was a lot of fun. Very enjoyable. A great story. Really, really got in this one more so than some of the others. Not that the other ones were bad, but this one here just stood out a little bit more personally, I felt. So I would definitely recommend this film. If you're a fan of CGI animated films, don't miss out on Epic. Definitely check it out. It's a really fun story. Beautiful imagery. Definitely one I'd highly recommend seeing. I absolutely love this, and I can't wait to check it out again. Then the next title I watched, this is one I'd heard some pretty bad things about, but honestly I had to say it wasn't all that bad, and that was The Man with the Iron Fist. Now, from what I was told, basically, the RZA just destroyed this film, and I'm not... I wasn't surprised with that. When I heard that this film was okay except for him, I wasn't surprised simply because he's probably one of the worst actors in history, and I really wish he would stop being in films. I mean, I knew this one was like... He is all over this one. Let's see if I can find all the stuff he did. Did he write this one? I don't even know, but I know his name popped up like 17,000 times in the credits. It says a film by, yeah, so apparently it's by him, I guess. Music by him. Yeah, so he is pretty much all over this one. So really when it comes down to it, this is really his little pet project here, and the reason why I didn't think he destroyed the film, even though he was horrible, and every time I popped on my screen, it was just piss poor acting, is the fact that he's not in the movie a ton. There's a lot of other characters in this movie which are very well represented. They focus on these other characters a lot in this film. And even though he's the man with the iron fist and he's in the movie quite a bit, the other characters definitely get plenty of screen time, and they do great with their screen time. I love it. Russell Crowe was fantastic in this movie. And again, that's something else I heard. He was great in this. He is. Russell Crowe, brilliant in this film. Loved his character. He gets plenty of great screen time, so definitely a good movie for the other characters. Yes, the RZA, whatever the fuck his name is, did a horrible, horrible job as he usually does. But luckily, he's not in the movie a ton compared to some of the other characters. And even when he is, he's not always talking, so that's good too, because that's when he kind of ruins it, when he talks. But luckily, we don't have to put up with him a ton. So for me, I was okay with this movie. Had he been in the film more, probably would have liked it a lot less. But since he wasn't in the film a ton, I could certainly look past his horrible, horrible acting. And it was a decent story. It was very enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. They left it open for a sequel. I'm not saying we're going to get one necessarily, but they did leave it open. I'd be interested in seeing a sequel. Sure, why not? As long as Russell Crowe comes back somehow in the sequel, I would be very interested in seeing it. So I found this movie again very enjoyable. You know, it wasn't anything overly amazing. Wasn't the best movie I've seen, but I've heard so many bad things about this movie, so I was pleasantly surprised. Watching this film, I was definitely surprised to find out it was not nearly as bad as everybody makes it out to be. So I would recommend it. It's a fun martial arts film. It's definitely, you know, over the top martial arts, but that's why it's fun. It's ridiculous, it's crazy, but it's a lot of fun. And like I said, it's not completely ruined by RZA. He doesn't destroy the film, even though he does a pretty piss poor job at everything he does within this film as far as acting is concerned. But you can look past it. It wasn't that bad. So all in all, I would say, yeah, check it out. If you've been thinking about seeing it, maybe it hurts just some bad things, give it a chance. I would say judge this one for yourself. It is worth a watch at least. Judge it for yourself. See what you think. It's probably not as bad as you've heard. And all in all, I'd say it was pretty decent. Check it out. Then the next title I checked out is one I've been really wanting to see. And, I thought it could have gone either way. Maybe it was going to be good. Maybe it was going to be bad. But I was interested in checking it out. And that was Bad Grandpa, the unrated version. This is definitely a Jackass meets Borat type movie. It's a movie. It has a plot. But in the plot, they're, of course, playing pranks on a lot of people. And that's where the funny part comes into play. It's very enjoyable to watch. Johnny Knoxville here dressed up as a grandfather with his grandson here playing practical jokes based on everybody, saying up these crazy situations that he gets these people to come into and completely fooling them and just the hilarity that ensues. So I would recommend it. If you like Jackass, if you like Borat, if that's your type of thing, this is going to be one to watch. It's those two movies smushed together. This is what you get. So I would recommend checking it out. It's nothing amazing. It's something fantastic. I really don't have much to say about that. It just, if you like Borat, if you like Jackass, see this. If you don't like them, don't see it. There's not much to say about it other than that. But the story's pretty funny. The situations that he purposely puts himself in, but puts these other characters or these other just bystanders in, are pretty funny. It's very enjoyable. So I recommend it. I was laughing my ass off plenty of times during this film. It was enjoyable. I say see it. Then a movie that I can't physically hold up and show you, as I watched this one on Ultraviolet. One of my viewers was nice enough to give me an Ultraviolet copy of this. And that was Escape Plan. I was pretty excited about this. I love the team up of Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, back together in a movie. I thought that sounds pretty awesome. And I really enjoyed this one. Now, a lot of people were saying they didn't like the fact that it wasn't action-packed enough. Perhaps, but I still thought it was a very, very enjoyable story. Really, really cool to see Sylvester Stallone trying to escape from this prison and Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of helping him. And then a really fun twist at the end. I won't give it away, but I'll be completely honest. I didn't see it coming. Maybe I should have. I always felt kind of stupid at the end when the twist came and I was like, oh, and I didn't see that coming. I always felt, should I have? Like, maybe I should have seen that coming. I probably should have. I kind of felt a little stupid. Not seeing it coming, but it was a cool twist. I actually really enjoyed it, and I was pleasantly surprised. So it was a really fun movie. Yeah, maybe not super action-packed, but a really enjoyable story about Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to escape from this prison that's pretty much escape-proof, or at least they think it's escape-proof, but, well, you'll see. So I'd recommend it. It was great. If you like Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you like Sylvester Stallone, what's more to say than that? Check this movie out. It was really, really enjoyable. Just a fun movie. Again, maybe not super action-packed, but fun nevertheless, and what I would definitely recommend checking out. Now, the next time I watch, this is one everybody must see, especially a lot of you, because a lot of you are collectors, and that is Rewind This. This was something I had been dying to check out. So when I came across it for full price, I paid close to $15. I think I paid like $12.90 something. So I paid like $13 for this. I picked it up. You guys know me. I don't usually spend more than $5 per title. I spent close to $15 for this. That's how bad I wanted to see it. I did not even wait to get home to watch this. I bought this on my lunch break. Went immediately right back to work, popped in my work computer and watched it while I was at work. That is how bad I wanted to see this. Then I got home, sat down, watched all the special features. There are a boatload on here. And then the following day, rewatched the film again with commentary. That is how much I loved this film. It was great. As a collector, as somebody who loves collecting just cinematic media, I got a kick out of this. And I went into this thinking, because I read about this, I went into it thinking it was a film about VHS collectors, and not necessarily. This is a film about just the format in general. It tells you the history of VHS tapes and everything about it, everything from how it was developed and everything, how it came to be, into its rise. They talk about the rental stores, and then they also talk about collectors too. So it talks about just everything, the whole wide range of VHS, everything from the very beginnings up to now, people collecting this dead format. Very, very cool. I don't have too much negative to say about this documentary at all. Now, as a collector, I could nitpick it in saying that I was kind of bummed they didn't mention Laserdisc a little bit more, only because it was a competitor with VHS. They were out at the same time. They do mention it in here, and there actually is a special feature on here where they do talk more about it, which is cool, but we'll love to have seen that. Maybe talked about it a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more on the beta VHS battle. They do cover that in here, but I think they could have covered it maybe a little bit more. They never talk about Video 8, and they never talk about that. They never talk about DVHS. They leave that out. So, as a collector of just all formats, yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of formats talked about in this film. Now, I do realize this is a VHS documentary. They're not going to go crazy talking about all these different formats. I get that. But, you know, at least to maybe mention them a bit, especially Video 8 and DVHS, and I guess I can slide Laserdisc and Beta because they were talked about. But those are the two formats. I think they should have maybe brought those up a little bit. That would have been pretty cool. I would have loved to have seen that, or at least a special feature on those formats. That would have been interesting. But that's about it. I also could nitpick a couple times in here. They mentioned some people in this documentary mentioned, this movie was only ever released on VHS, when a simple search on the Laserdisc database will show you it was also released on Laserdisc as well. So there are certain times like that in the movie that kind of bug me, but this is just nitpicking. I am a collector, so yes, I can definitely nitpick a documentary like this, but I am just nitpicking. It was fantastic. This is something you got to check out. I'll be watching this one like 5 times, 10 times more just in this year alone. I can guarantee you I'll be talking about this movie again. It is brilliant. If you're a collector of any format, I'm not even talking a VHS collector. If you don't collect VHS, great. I don't care if you're just a Blu-ray collector, just a DVD collector, DVD Blu-ray collector, whatever. This is still something you should check out. It's a really cool history of VHS. Again, talks about collectors, which I'm sure we all can get into. So definitely something I would highly, highly recommend checking out. Fantastic documentary. And hey, if you come across this for full price, and you're like me, you don't usually pay full price for movies, screw it. Buy it anyway. You won't regret it. Rewind this. Brilliant. Then I actually went to the theaters and saw the Lego Movie. I'd really been interested in this one because I'd seen some other Lego movies like the Lego Star Wars and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed Lego movies. They're funny, they're enjoyable, and this one was no exception. I knew it was only a matter of time too until the Legos made their way into theaters, because Lego's been pumping out a lot of direct-to-video, direct-to-home video titles, and they've all been pretty good. They've all been great. I think they've been selling pretty well, at least I'm assuming they have been, since they've been putting so many out. And I knew it was only a matter of time until we started seeing them in the theaters. And finally we get one, and it was so much fun. I love seeing all the Lego characters. I love seeing some of the old Lego characters. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. I collected all the great 80s Legos, and I love seeing certain ones, like the space guy. I love how he was all like scraped up. Looked like he'd been around for a while. I love that his helmet that he had on. He was missing the visor, which always happens. Those things always popped off. And the little like chin part on the bottom was cracked, which is something that always happens to those Legos too. I have plenty of those up in the spare room. The only toys I kept from my childhood were my Legos. And yeah, I have plenty of helmets that have cracks on them. So that was really cool little touches like that. Such a fun story. Just watching these Legos have to battle this bad guy, and I love who we find out who he is at the end. Really, really cool. They tie in the real world to this fantasy Lego world. I think that's really cool that all this is like sorry if I'm spoiling a little bit here, but all this is in the mind of a child, which is really neat. And again, as somebody who spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours as a child playing with Legos. In fact, this basement I'm in right now, as I've already mentioned to you guys, I got this house when my father passed away. Got it. He left it to me. And this basement right here that I'm in right now, spending hours and hours and hours and hours in, was the same basement I spent countless hours in as a child with my Lego town. I had a whole bunch of picnic tables set up all next to each other. Just tons of Legos on like all the pieces of land and water, stuff like that. All kinds of Legos put up onto my town. I had a shipping area. I had a fort to protect it. I had the police department, the fire station, the mayor's office, all these places I had. It was so much fun, and I just love Legos, and I can definitely side with this kid who had you know, he's doing all this stuff inside his head, all his imagination. I remember what that was like. It was so much fun. It was like I was living in the town when I was a kid, and it's a lot of fun to watch this movie. So a great story, great CGI. I saw it in 3D. 3D was pretty good as well. So definitely a movie I would recommend checking out. Really fun CGI animated film. If you grew up playing with Legos, you are definitely gonna want to see this movie. It'll bring your childhood back to you. It definitely did for me. I love the fact that they show newer Lego characters, but they show plenty of old Lego characters as well. That is very, very cool. So definitely one. Again, I would highly recommend checking it out. Would I say you need to see it in the theaters? Not necessarily. You can wait for this one to come out to like Redbox or Netflix or something. Give it a rent, but definitely worth seeing. I'd recommend seeing it, you know, definitely on Blu-ray in high definition. It is worth checking out. The picture was beautiful, colors are beautiful, and you know, you have to see it in 3D, not necessarily, but it did look good in 3D. If you want to see it in 3D, it looked good. So Lego Movie, definitely one to check out. I'm sure we've all heard good things by now. I've heard about a million different reviews on Lego Movie, all saying it's fantastic, and I would highly agree. Check it out. And then the last movie we have to talk about here is Good, which I was also really looking forward to checking out and really enjoy this one too. It's great to see this movie of this guy who doesn't really want to become a Nazi becoming a Nazi. It's very interesting in his struggle with his friends who is a Jew, and obviously things don't go quite well for his Jewish friends. And it's just very interesting to see him, you know, struggling between kind of basically making his career take off a bit because the Nazis kind of come to him and want to use him in his expertise, and he's pursuing his career and building his career through the Nazis, even though he's not really into the Nazis, doesn't want to become a Nazi, but slowly sort of, you know, ends up joining the party and getting more involved, even though this whole time he doesn't really agree with everything and certainly wants to save his friend, and then his wife betrays him, betrays his friend goes to a camp, and it's a very sad ending, but a really, really good movie. Again, just about this guy who just really doesn't like Nazis, doesn't want to become a Nazi, becoming a Nazi. Very interesting story. So I would recommend checking it out. If you like movies based around World War II, it's one to check out. Very decent movie. Just, you know, very sad at moments, especially the ends, but still very enjoyable. Definitely a great drama. I would really, really recommend it. That's about it. So good movie. One I would have to say, see. Okay, guys, so there you go. That is it for what I've been watching this week. Watched a ton of good stuff. I would recommend everything I watched this week. I mean, definitely epic. See that. It was one of the better CGI animated films I've seen recently. The Man with the Iron Fist, like I said, I'm sure you've heard all bad things, because if you're like me, I've heard a million bad things about this movie. It wasn't that bad. See it. It was enjoyable. It had some good characters in it. The RZA didn't destroy it. I thought he didn't destroy the movie for me. I didn't think he absolutely ruined it. He sucked in it, sure, like he sucks in everything he does, but he didn't ruin the movie for me. So I would still say see it. Bad Grandpa, if you like Jackass and you like Borat, that's what the movie is. See it. Obviously, Rewind this. I can't talk about that movie enough. In fact, just talking about it, I'm debating watching it after I do this video, watching it again. I liked it that much. I want to watch it like 100 times more. It was so good. See it. Good. Also a good movie. Fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Fun. Well, I should say fun story, but interesting and enjoyable story. Again, about a man hating Nazis becoming a Nazi. We also have Escape Plan, another really enjoyable film. Like I said, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. Great to see them together. Definitely recommend it. Perhaps not very action-packed, but still very enjoyable. And of course, a Lego Movie. I'm sure you've all heard by now it was fantastic, and it certainly was. See it. So there you go, guys. That is it. Like I always say, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you're not already subbed, please do. And if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com, head on over there, click on the shop tab, purchase yourself a Cinema Sickness sticker or a Cinema Sickness button. I really appreciate the support. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.